Hello, it is Beverly, or Bev, whichever you want to call me, because I don't care. And it's Pride Month. Yay for us queer people, right? Well, we get to put up with the bigots, and that's what happens. Oh, why isn't there a straight Pride Month? And was the last time you got shot for being straight? Yeah, didn't happen. But, anyways, I thought I would hop on today and give a great big happy Pride. Also, a quick update on the cancer situation. I got to ring the bell as I told you last time. Tuesday, I have my big scan, so I will do a full episode of on that come results day. I hopefully will be able to post a cancer-free video. But for today, this is actually a new video for Pride Month, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about my journey through becoming who I realized I am. So, all of this started, weirdly enough, uh, back in 2013. Before this, I thought I was just a regular old cisgender, heterosexual female because how I was raised, how I was supposed to be. Um, Grew up, fell in love at 19 with this dude online. Uh, Ended up meeting him, thought he was great. First time I ever had any experience with a guy. I was a little sheltered, and I was always heavy, so us fat girls don't always get picked whenever we're in high school. But anyways, that's beside the point. Um, Whenever I moved to Missouri to be near him and his family, we ended up getting married. A few years later, had a kid. All the stuff you're supposed to do. And then in 2013, um, I ran across this picture on DeviantArt. I was a big DeviantArt person at that time, posting my poetry, doing all this stuff, right? And, well, this picture was of two male characters that I liked. And it had this link to a story, fan fiction, of course, about these two male characters. And I was like, that's intriguing. I'm going to check this out. And I did. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I love this whole romance between two male characters, and I don't know why. I've never seen it before. And I spent 6 months, 7 months, voraciously reading everything I could get my hands on. My big thing was Bleach. I don't know why. It was just my favorite thing to read. And then after about 6 or 7 months, I started writing it. Then during that time, I would laugh and say, it's like I'm a gay man in a woman's body. Yeah. Normal cisgender straight women do not say that. And because I started researching things. And that's whenever I figured out that maybe I wasn't. Maybe I had a different gender. And I ran across the concept of being bigender, which is two different genders at the same time, two different genders that switch between them, combination of the two. Learned there was more genders besides male and female. And before anybody comments that you either have a penis or a vagina, no, that is your biology and not even really your sex. Sex is on a spectrum, gender is on a spectrum, and has been forever. And there's always been different genders in different cultures. So it's not a new thing, it's not a Tumblr thing. It's just become more recognized recently. So with this concept, I decided maybe I was more male than female than I thought. And I was like a mom, had two kids, and I was comfortable with womanhood when it came to being a mom in that. Um, I was also confident in the feminine energy with my paganism and my witchcraft. But there was still this male side of me. And yeah, I've talked to a lot of people about transitioning, becoming a trans man. But in reality, it doesn't fit me and my lived experience. Now, if I had come across the concept when I was younger, before I got married, before I became a mom, before I have a womanhood become a part of me, then I might have transitioned. I might have been a trans man. Um, but at this point, womanhood is integrated in my personality, in my person. It's not something I can just give up. Um, so this concept of bigender I adopted. And I found out I was in a whole new world because I did identify and still do as transmasculine, meaning I was born assigned female at birth and have transitioned partially into male because I'm also female. And so I found out that there's a lot of hate surrounding these identities, collectively called non binary, meaning I don't fit the male female binary. But I also figured out maybe I wasn't as straight as I thought I was. And the idea of being pansexual appealed to me, but it didn't quite fit because I was like, do I really have sexual attraction to anybody? Because I wasn't sexually attracted to my ex-husband. I'll tell you why it's ex in a minute. But I found that I didn't care about somebody's gender. I felt like I cared instead about a person, and I enjoyed the idea of romantic connections, but sexual connections didn't matter as much. I mean, yeah, obviously I have 2 kids, so I didn't avoid it, and I have enjoyed it. But it wasn't the end all be all of a relationship, and I could take it or leave it kind of thing. And so I began to explore the asexual identity. And when I did that, I found it fit. I didn't get sexually attracted. I didn't care about somebody's looks. I liked the personal interaction and the romantic interactions with other people, but not necessarily that piece where I see somebody and I'm like, oh, I want to have sex with that person or they're sexy. It just didn't happen. So when I was looking up things on asexuality, I came across a micro label. And if you don't know what a micro label is, and some people hate them, some people don't believe they're legit, and that's fine. They can believe that. But I like labels um, because I feel like I can find community when I have labels. So I found the label of agosexual. And what agosexual is a micro label of asexuality that enjoys sexual media, sexual depictions, can aesthetically enjoy it, not for sexual reasons. So that for a long time confused me. And then I came across agosexuality and I realized that it fit because an agosexual doesn't feel like doing the things they write and read about or watch, but they just enjoy the process of writing it, process of reading it, and can interact with that without sexual desire. And I thought, that really is me. I can write it all day long. I mean, I wrote a lot. I wrote 3 million words of fan fiction in about 5 years. So yeah, I just figured that out back then. As far as my now ex-husband, at the time he was going through a weird time in his life, and one he refers to these days as his asshole years. And he couldn't take me being non-binary. He said people were either male or female, and he could accept it whenever it came to friends. Ironically, he had some non-binary friends at the time. Um, but he couldn't handle it as a romantic partner. Said, okay, fine. So we got divorced. Um, Best decision in my life, by the way. Realized I was super codependent, and that was not great. Because I didn't know who I was without him. Went through a lot of depression. The identification of who I um, was a big part of my life back then. And I became comfortable with those labels. I became comfortable with who I was, something I had never been before, but I didn't realize. And then I came to the realization as far as like the romantic partners, which, in case you're wondering, the model that separates sexuality and romantic desire is called the split attraction model. And basically, it says that you can have different alignment with your romantic desires than you can with your sexual desires. So, therefore, I realized I was asexual and pan romantic. So, then later, I met my girlfriend, Lena, and that's another funny story, but we've been dating since 2024, and I'm looking forward to the day she can move to where I live and we can be together for good. But I love her dearly. She is everything I could imagine, and yes, she's flawed. So am I. But we know each other, we love each other, and that's what matters. And I don't think I could ever date another man. There are too many issues there. But this is about pride and about my journey. So that's really about it. That's where I am. I sometimes wonder if would be able to identify as a lesbian, since I now don't really have much interest in men, um, either romantically, but it may just be that I'm happy where I'm at. Um, or I may actually be demi-romantic, and that could be why Lena's the only person I'm interested in. Um, but yeah, happy Pride, y'all.